c'est la vie, huh? You're pushing me, little girl.
So, push back, little man.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week I checked out Angel of Destruction, and this 1994 film was directed by Charles Philip Moore and stars Maria Ford, Charlie Spradling, and Jessica Mark, among others, of course. The story of this movie is that there's this maniac in town, and he's killing a bunch of people, men, women, and then he kind of gets this fascination with this controversial pop star, so he kind of starts stalking her and sending her weird stuff. So that, prompts her to get a bodyguard who is then, promptly killed by the maniac. But the bodyguard has a sister, and that sister is like an undercover cop, so she kind of takes on the case. And then along with another detective, they have to hunt down this maniac and, stop him from killing. What will happen though? Well, for that, you gotta watch the movie and find out. All right, so let's discuss this movie. Well, with this one, it's an exotic thriller from the 1990s. And so those are certainly dated, I would say. But with this one, it certainly has a lot of kind of that qualities. Though I would say that this one does have kind of more action than most of the kind of exotic thrillers that I've seen. With this one, every scene is, not every, but most scenes are either something having to do with like a topless woman or a gun battle or karate battle or whatever. And that's really kind of the only kind of two types of scenes in this one. There's not a lot of people having dinner or people talking to their lawyer or whatever. It's really just kind of the exotic part or the thriller part, and I think that certainly works with it. With this one, there's lots of gun battles, which is good, and they're all, I think, done to a high degree. Like, they have a lot of squibs in this one, and squibs is like the kind of the fake kind of bursting bullet impacts special effect. And so they do a great job with that. They have so many, and it's just great to see just how many bullets are flying around with this one. And then on top of that, they have this controversial pop star because she takes her top off during the shows, and so you get to see her shows, and her backstage dancers or background dancers are also topless. And so there is quite a bit of nudity in this one, which is, if you're there for that erotic part, you're satisfied. If you're there for that thrilling part, you're certainly satisfied. And so I would say that this one, from the 90s is probably going to be better than most of the kind of the ones I've seen out there where it's, a murder mystery or something like this one. This one just has to do with a maniac, and it starts like right away. Like, the first scene is the maniac like killing a bunch of guys karate style, and then just every scene he's in, he's just killing people, being a maniac. That's what maniacs are for. So it is, I would say, at least entertaining with how much stuff they actually have in this movie. So yeah, that is, I would say, certainly a plus. Other than that, with this one, it's an erotic thriller, so of course you have that kind of sleazy stuff in there, and I would say it works. That they kind of make it acceptable within kind of the world that they've created here. And with this one, I was watching another review for a different movie, and they were saying that movie was scuzzy but not sleazy. This one is sleazy but not really scuzzy. It's kind of done to a high degree, I would say, especially since it's performances, and they've incorporated those performances into the actual storyline. So yeah, certainly it promises to be an erotic thriller, and it certainly fulfills on that. And that brings me to what doesn't work with this film. Well, certainly it's not a good film by any standards. Like, my partner came in while I was watching it just to say hi or whatever, and she saw like one fight scene, and she was just like, oh, it's one of these movies. And certainly I would have to agree with her. Certainly with the fight scenes, there's a liberal use of slow-mo. So it's like all the time, like anytime a squib goes off, it's always in slow-mo. Anytime someone falls down, it's in slow-mo. You kind of get these uneven pacing within the fight. Certainly I think it lets you appreciate the action that's going into it, with the squibs bursting out of people's chests and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's just like off-settling how it all just kind of works together, where it's normal speed slow-mo, normal speed slow-mo, normal speed slow-mo all the time. So that was certainly part of what makes it not the best movie out there. Other than that, I found there was just like a lot of lines where I was just like cracking up with how bad they were, and then the delivery of these bad lines as well. There's just so many times where it's like, why would anybody say that in that way as well? It's just ridiculous. And that certainly, brings it down. I think also with the plot, like some of the plot things like don't make any sense. Like this controversial pop star is working out of this club, and the club manager is just like so upset that she's changed her set and that she's making money and becoming popular, and he's just upset with that, so much so that he starts sending goons after her to try to change her performance back. Like, it just makes no sense because he's the owner of the club. People are coming to go see this girl. Like, what are you doing? Just absolutely ridiculous. And so there's certainly things with the script, certainly the lines and their delivery, and then, the actual plot points that just make it for a mess of a film. And lastly, there's the acting as well. Like, the acting is certainly not the best in this one, which, I think adds to that kind of bad line delivery, which just, cracks me up. So I guess that's, the silver lining of it all. But yeah, the acting certainly could use some work, but at the same time, like, it's a cheesy B movie. Like, it's what I love, right? Like, I watched this one and I was just like having fun with it. So yeah, certainly a bad movie, but one that has some entertainment value with it, especially if you're watching it, ironically. So would I recommend this film? Well, I would only say, watch it if you're watching it ironically. That's probably the best, movie experience with this one. If you have some type of, game with your friends, like Best of the Worst or something, you could probably put this one in, the running and have a lot of fun with it. And so, if you are that special type of person who loves bad movies, this one I think is, bad enough to watch. As for a rating, well, I'm going to give it the hilariously bad score of 3.4 because I did, find myself laughing out loud with it. I'll also give it, a shadow score of 5 on, the bad movie scale. I think it also has like a 5 on IMDb, so, that is what it is. And yeah, with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, come back next time, who knows who will be here, and I will see you then. Peace out.